protection, all this bullshit. And they don't. Because, again, this Barrett-Bryan match is the prime example of how you do it right. Put a guy who's very talented and can get the job done against a guy who is very talented and can get the job done. Manipulate the situation so that they're feuding. It was a very good match. Going back to some of what was going on in the match beyond that, because we kind of got off tangent here, because we digressed, because this is hard to think about. Barrett had gotten out off the apron and towards the guardrail. Daniel Bryan backed up to the corner post and literally ran the length of the apron and did a running high knee.
Musaiku knee.
A Musaiku knee from Japanese wrestling, but it's a running high knee off of the apron into Wade Barrett, and it looked beautiful. And you could tell that they were really taking hard shots with each other, because generally when they're showing replay, it's at full speed, unless it's like a flying maneuver like Sin Cara or Rey Mysterio flying through the air, they slow it down. This actually took the point of, let's see how strong this hit was, let's go in slow-mo at the point of contact, and from the camera angle looking at the point of contact, and you saw them connect. You saw that they were really laying it in, and they were going that extra mile for a pay-per-view, as you should. Back and forth through various submission maneuvers that ultimately ended up with Wade Barrett catching him with a big boot, put him up for the waist slam, got the 1, 2, 3. Now, I don't mind Wade Barrett winning here because it perpetuates the feud. The feud can continue through Night of Champions and possibly even through
Survivor Series.
No, October's Hell in a Cell.
October's Hell in a Cell. Okay.
And probably have their feud finish in a Hell in a Cell match, which would be fine. But what they're doing is, what I think Wade Barrett and Daniel Bryan are doing are saying, look, you want us to be mid-carders, we're going to show you we're main eventers, and we're going to burn the house down. And this was a barn burner match. Literally, the next match paled in comparison. So let's see, that's what, the 4th match on the card of the 2.5-hour show, 3-hour show, a 3-hour show, 4th match on the card.
And finally,
and after that, we get our semi-main event, which is Christian Randy Orton, which means there's only one more match after that. 6 matches total on a 3-hour fucking card. You get more wrestling than that on Raw. And they have commercial breaks. What the fuck? This is one of your main pay-per-views, and you're jerking us around with 6 goddamn matches, 4 of which were told. The other 2, you just threw the fuck in there for people to go, wait, what?
work for ECW.
Because you'd rather spend... And we saw where ECW went. They never even had a tenth of a...
Dadgummit. Hey. No, dadgummit. I'm going to let my voice hurt on this. Paul did it for a reason. The matches he told you were going to be on the card were there so you would tune in. The rest you were sitting there going, what's he going to pull off next? That's why Paul Heyman did that. Unfortunately for this show, they did it just because they could. They could have told you there was going to be a 6-man tag team match. They could have told you that, hey, we're going to have a fucking Divas match showing up. They could have told you.
They promoted the goddamn Divas match. They didn't promote Wade Barrett, Daniel Bryan. That would have been the one you should have promoted.
Point well taken.
But the thing is, going back to ECW, they only had a 10th of the buy rates. Ever. A 10th of WCW or ECW. And within 10 years, they were bankrupt.
Before WCW.
Yes! Before WCW. And WCW was running in the negative from the moment it was bought.
Point.
13 years and only turned a profit for 2.
You know what I feel like right now? I feel like I'm selling my soul to you for ECW. I really do, because tell you the truth, I'm a big ECW fan. That's where I got my somewhat, I hate the term, smarkiness from. I don't really give a fuck right now because I've been drinking. I don't really care.
It's ridiculous that you don't do that.
I understand that.
And that's my whole fucking point. There was a good match on the card. A good match and the big match that everybody wanted to see. The semi-main nobody really even wanted to see. We're at the semi-main. It's Christian, Randy Orton, no holds barred.
And we're talking about our dogs.
Yeah, that's how boring this fucking match was. Halfway through it, we were talking about our dogs. Things that we've done over the past week with our dogs. Playing around, getting a new tussle toy, feeding them some new food. We were talking about that shit over this match. And we were watching this match. That's how boring a no-holds-barred match was between these two jackholes. Christian comes out, says, here's my insurance policy, brings out Edge. Cheap pop. Edge comes in and says, you are a whiny bitch, you're a son of a bitch, and goes and gets out of the fucking ring. Okay, whatever. Randy Orton comes in. Slow.
I was halfway asleep to this, and I drank a fucking Monster before.
This fucking match was so goddamn slow. I had a birthday.
And mine's coming up 2.5 weeks, and I had another.
They were hurting the fans' feelings. I swear to God, there were some people who brought back the tickets they bought from last SummerSlam. It was boring. They started out in the ring going back and forth. Okay. Then Christian sets up a table on the outside, never does anything with it. Hits Randy Orton with a kendo stick. Sets up another table in the corner. Never does anything with it. Then they fight out into the crowd, where nobody can fucking see. And the cameras can't even... They get the top of Randy Orton's head. Well, that's something you want to do when you're buying a pay-per-view. Not see a goddamn thing. Get back behind the barriers to the ringside. Sets up a set of stairs against the fucking ring. And don't use them. Now, they're going back and forth. Starting to bring kendo sticks in. Starting to do an RKO on the announce table. Randy Orton reverses an RKO. Christian tried on the announce table. Comes over, throws him into the stairs, puts him back in the ring. Then, after they go along for a little bit, Christian goes to dive. Randy Orton chunks him out of the ring, and he goes through the fucking table. Well, didn't see that one coming because it was conveniently set up. So while he's down, Randy Orton throws in 2 trash cans, 2 kendo sticks, and puts the steel chairs, or the steel step lower half, into the ring.
I got a really stupid question at this point. Why the fuck put that goddamn many weapons underneath the freaking ring?
Because they believe no holds barred is the same as hardcore.
It's not! No holds barred means, and I'm actually going to date myself here despite not really dating myself. I've actually come into contact with several Memphis DVDs from the early 80s. No holds barred means
that you originally had a hold that was illegal. This means
Thank
illegal
you.
holds are permitted. That's it. It does not mean no DQ. It does not mean no count out. It does not mean anything goes as long as the fall's in the ring. It never meant that. But apparently WWE has retconned the fuck out of this rule. Okay, fine. Fine. I'll give them that. Christian gets back in the ring. They try he does a little back and forth with Randy Orton. Randy Orton power slams him into the table that was set up in the corner. Wow. Didn't see that one coming. Christian gets the upper hand, tries to do a concerto. Up face concerto. Which has never been done and never will be done. As he was doing it, he was milking it. And milking it. and then spit in his face, which was the whole big spiel that led to him losing his title to begin with. He spit in Randy Orton's face, and Randy Orton lost it. And was disqualified. Disqualification gave Christian the title. Okay. Goes to raise the chair, and is holding it there for 30, 40 seconds. Then when he goes to swing it down, Randy Orton, who was damn near unconscious, reaches up slowly, touches the spit, and as the chair comes down, rolls out of the way, stands up, and grabs the chair. Brrr. Where the fuck did this come from?
When did he get a Cena push?
He is getting a Cena push. Because then he tries to stomp on Christian's head. Puts his head on the steel chair, gets his foot set, is going to curb stomp his ass.
Wasn't on a chair, it was on the steel.
Or on the steps. Was going to curb stomp his ass.
Which is my main...
Christian moves out of the way. He stomps hard. I mean, you hear it echo. His knee buckles in. After that moment, no problem with his knee. He's getting a fucking Superman push. He's becoming the new John Cena. Computer. Why is he becoming the new John Cena? I don't get it. Does the Hangman DDT onto a trash can, RKO's him on the stairs, and gets the win. He's World Heavyweight Champion again. But Christian's gonna bitch and get his rematch and throw some fucking stipulation. I really hate what they're doing with Christian. He was good, now they're turning him into a bitch. Time for our main event.
Joy!
But first, we spend another 10 minutes pulling the fucking drag chute. They show the fan access and everything that they did for the entire week leading up to SummerSlam. Then, they show the video package that they showed at the beginning of the goddamn pay-per-view. I'm sorry. If I've stuck with it to this point and haven't gouged my fucking eyes out of sheer frustration, I know this. Okay. I don't need to see it again.
Dadgummit, I'm gonna... You did this at the fucking beginning of your goddamn show! You did this halfway through your fucking show! Now you're gonna do it now? Right before the goddamn main event? I know what the fuck is going on! I can get the fact that CM Punk and John Cena don't like each other because of the fucking same champion. I don't really care. I just want to see these two fight, decide who is really the champ. Is it really that hard to figure out? I don't need to see the same promo 3 different goddamn times in a 3-hour show.
By the way, we skipped over these 2 bits. There was Stephanie McMahon walking into Triple H's office, and then you saw Stephanie McMahon talking to Triple H right before this match, right before the video vignette, where he's wearing his ref shirt. Once again, pointing the fact home that Triple H is married to Stephanie. As if we didn't already know this.
God, I wish I was married to Stephanie. No.
Put it away.